video here will be strictly about the radiator support, and so there's no confusion. I'm going to be getting that together in this video. I don't think it'll be today, maybe a little bit tomorrow and a little bit of work through on Monday. But when you work in 12-hour shifts, and so it's hard to get back in the garage, and on nights it's just difficult. So anyway, I got everything set up here. I've got all these C-clamps and vice grips down here to hold this steel down here because this is a wooden table. And I do plan on welding on the steel. I'm not welding the plate steel together, but I'm just going to be welding these pieces here together and then putting them on the actual front bumper sitting on the other side of the car. So I'll be able to weld these together. I actually made these and then figured out how they fit better together in the places because they're not all the same, because I'm a horrible fabricator, but I also have horrible tools. So there's that. Get these welded, and then I've got the actual radiator support over there in the vise ready to clean up and weld that together. And then once that's all done, I can get proper measurements to find out where I'm going to cut the top of the radiator support off and where it's actually going to meet these at what angle. So get this stuff squared away, man, and tell you what, I really like doing this kind of work. It is fun for me, but it's also trying to my patience and myself. No, trying to my humbleness as mechanic slash fabricator. So anyway, you guys just hang in there and criticize my welding all you want. This is, again, not saving anybody's life, just a radiator possibly. So we'll leave the professional welding up to the professionals later on down the road. But anyway, just have fun doing all that stuff, listen to some good music, and watch me work. Alright guys, so I went ahead and got those burnt together. This was a little risky because I had never tried gas and steel wire on this welder. Just had everything together but never actually tried it. Didn't even test it because, you know, it's just mild steel. It should weld pretty decent. But for a guy that never ever welds with some equipment that he never ever uses, it's not so bad. It could have been a whole lot better, but not terrible at all. This is going to definitely do the job. This inside pieces here I tried to keep as quick as I could, just so less I got to grind off later. But this one right here was definitely where everything was sailing pretty good. Not too bad, not too bad. But I mean, it is mild steel with steel wire and gas with good electricity. I mean, it should have turned out well. So alright, so I'm going to move on over here to the pipe and get that burnt together and then let that cool, and we'll see exactly how that ends up on the car. Alright guys, so that welded, well, it's welded. That side was a lot more rough because it had bigger holes. The other side turned out a whole lot nicer. Doesn't really look like it, but it actually did. It's going to be significantly less grinding and sanding and everything like that, but grinder and paint make you the welder you ain't. Anyway, like I said, we're not trying to save a life with it, but let this cool off. Probably gonna go ahead and just let it completely cool off. I'm not gonna touch this and probably until tomorrow, but I kind of wouldn't mind getting those welded onto the bumper so that that's done, so that I can deal with all that tomorrow, get measurements and everything while everything's cool. So go ahead and probably go ahead and get those tacked on, and then probably call it quits for today. Kind of got to see what I've got cooking for tomorrow to see how much further progress we make, I guess, in this video. So yeah, just sit tight. I'll pull the camera back around, get the bumper up here, and weld on those I don't know what you call them, perches, plates, those things. You'll see what I'm welding. Alright guys, so got all that welding done and got this all here good to go. So now all I need to do is situate the radiator inside the engine bay in here so that I can make my measurements and then get the angle correct so that I know how much to take off of the radiator support. And I'm going to use these few 2x4s here to help me hold the thing in place so that it doesn't fall down, get beaten up or anything like that as I'm trying to get exact measurements on the height and the angle and everything. So progress is much more forthcoming on this now that, you know, got through some of the harder stuff. But you guys just take a beat and listen to some more music and watch time lapse as I go and get through all the measurements and get ready to set up the radiator support. Hey guys, so I got started on grinding this stuff down, and I had to insert a little piece here because when you see me correcting the angle of these posts, it shortened it and then it would no longer work. So anyway, got to do a little bit of finish up grinding here, and then I'm going to hit it with each one of these so that it smooths out. Looks pretty decent. I'm not really trying to hide anything, but still want the look decent, right? So after that gets all done up, then I actually have made up, there's two of them here, two of these things. They're going to sit right in here, weld them up as gussets, something about like that right there, and get these welded on, and then be ready to weld up the actual radiator support here to the bottom of the bumper there and go from there. So I'm gonna go ahead and tackle that and get that done, and then we'll shoot for maybe welding on this bumper. Alright guys, so I got that thing all made up, got it sanded down. It's ready for paint, but I'm going to actually paint it on the car. I'm not a professional welder, but I burned it in. This is going to be strong enough, definitely strong enough to do the job that I needed to do. So anyway, we'll worry about the paint later after it's already on the car, but now I'm going to set everything up to get the angle on this correct and get it tacked on. Alright guys, so I got the radiator support completely welded up to the bumper, and I think it fits great. I think it looks great. Got the radiator just resting in there. But yeah, I think it's going to work out pretty well. Made the right call on how I did it so far, and it sticks out just a tiny bit, That ain't gonna cause any issues. I already checked. So now I gotta get rid of this wood that's holding the radiator, because currently there's still nothing holding the radiator. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these thick pieces of steel that I can't bend, and I'm just gonna cut it 4-inch squares, and I'm gonna put one here, I'm gonna put one here, I'm gonna slide it underneath there, and then I'm gonna burn it in on both sides, get that welded in, and then I'm gonna make a slide for this out of this channel right, or out of this angle right here, and it's just gonna set in here and weld to the bottom of this plate here like this, so that the radiator will kind of just like slide down in, and one side's gonna hold it, and then because of the filler neck I've got down there, I've got roughly like 3 to 4 inches, and I can't do anything with the filler neck there, and I really can't do anything on this side here, so I might as well just leave it like that and let this side do all the holding. It's gonna be fine, and that way I don't have anything going across the front here, and the radiator will slide right down in. I can just slide it out, unbolt everything, and it all comes out. guys, so I got that all put in. I actually changed it mid build, I guess you could say. Went with something a little less material, more efficient, and right now the radiator is just sitting in here. It's not held up by anything, but I think this is the better option, just making like little keepers down there out of that angle. And right now I'm sitting perfect, right the way I want to. It's sitting nice and level. Couldn't be more happy. It's just, man, if I could have just gotten these bends here made, somebody else bent them for me, or if I had the proper tools. But you can kind of see, I'll make do. I'll make do, and it'll turn out to be something substantial. Take that word by definition however you want to use it. But now I've got, the only issue is I have nothing to hold the radiator like away from the engine. So I've got something very simple again. I'm gonna take this little piece of steel here I had laying around, and it's exactly already cut in half lengths. I'm gonna round off the edges here and here and here and there and there, and then I'm gonna put 2 holes in it, and it's gonna be bolted in with this. And then it's going to pull this radiator forward, and it's going to come across and then twist back to match the angle here. And then I'm going to get some nice pieces of rubber to go down there, like over top of that, on the bottom of here. So this thing ain't just sitting here rattling around as it's going potato, potato, potato. That's a Harley sound. We really need to come up with a car version of it, but you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, I'm going to finish up this little job, and that's just going to wrap it up here. So get this stuff done in, and I'll see you guys shortly. Guys, so I think we did it, and by we I mean me and my tiny bit of talent. Not you guys, but you guys are great. Thanks for watching. But anyway, these welded on here really nice, and set in here just like that. Told you the fitment was pretty good. I'd like to put some rubber over the end of this. Focus, there we go, like a little rubber thing. Might end up just cutting a heater hose or something, sticking over. This one here's got a little bit of a gap, but when you pull this back and knock the whole thing down, it comes closed. So anyway, super happy with the way it turned out. And that whole unit just bolts on, and then it can be unbolted and removed. The only special change to this is that I'm going to have to do a little bit longer bolts on the top. But that's no big deal. I've got a whole entire drawer over here full. So I'm going to take this and take the radiator out of it, take it over and put some rattle can on it, and see what she looks like when she's done. Alright guys, so as you can see, got it all finished up and painted, just rattle canned, but it looks good. Good enough. Anyway, thanks for some patience of watching and going through that. I know that I probably either A, over-engineered it, B, didn't engineer it enough, C, did it all the wrong way. Doesn't matter. It's done now and it fits in there really, really nice and level. This thing is really sturdy in here, and I've only got two bolts in there, so can't really like step on it or anything like that because the paint's still a little bit tacky, but it's definitely strong. The back tabs back here doing exactly what I made them to do, so it's kind of nice. And you can see this one here, but like I said, I'll get some rubber on that dude right there, and so that the radiator and the steel, aluminum, stuff like that don't like go up against one another. So anyway, I really don't have anything else to work on that. Now I've got to get a shroud and a fan installed, and then I can start looking at putting the piping together for the coolant lines, and then hopefully the front bumper still fits on it, but I ain't worried about that. I'm pretty sure it does. But anyway, you guys, thank you again for watching. Hopefully you like this video. We got more stuff like this coming up. Just time to get the harness on this engine and just start tackling things. It's going to be kind of random order stuff in some videos, just till I get to the point of where I can get to starting it. So anyway, thank you guys again for watching. Catch you next time.